literally says that we're live, so I guess that means that we're live.
I guess.
Can they hear us talking?
Yeah, the mics are live during the opening. We're
Mics are live. I just can't find the overlay. There we go.
Oh.
Hey-oh.
Real professional operation here.
Oh, guys, welcome back to another episode of Some Nobody's Doing Some Chatterboxing Random Things. And we have with us very, very super sweet as can be, super special, Dylan Terry. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good to see you.
Apparently, I'm sweet as can be.
Sweet as pie. Certain pies. Not all pies. Some pies are sour. Speaking of sour, we also have me. My name is Zach. I'm here. I'm also a Some Nobody. We have a super special guest. Probably the most sour and sweet man I've ever met in my life. If you could mix those two and dip a chicky nugget into it, it would be Mr. Michael Colby. Michael, how are you, sir?
Okay. I'm a little bit thrown off by this whole intro.
I don't know why you would be.
I wasn't sure you're going to be here, so we didn't plan any of this. Either way, we are Some Nobodies. Sometimes Michael Colby is a Some Nobody. And what we do is we create content for your cutesy little ears to listen to and for your weird eyes to maybe look at. Who cares? Either way, we talk a bunch about things. We talk a lot about a bunch of things. We don't do this very regularly anymore, but damn it, we should. We should.
We're working on it.
I'm rusty.
Remember when we used to do shows every like 3 days?
Yeah, it was great. I don't remember stuttering that much before, but maybe I did. I have no idea.
It's the South. It got you.
I'm as rusty as Michael. You even finish that?
You're as rusty as the pocket knife that I just dug out of the front yard the other day and then told my kid to stab somebody at work with.
Cool. Perfect draft, no notes.
I love that. Yep. Absolutely nothing to say about that. Okay, so here on Some Nobodies, especially at Chatterbox, what we do is we talk about a bunch of news. I throw news at Dylan and also today Michael Colby, and they feign interest at best. Like really low level energy is what they give me. So let's hop into it if that's cool. Okay, so starting off, some of the major things that I see coming at me because of how my Google algorithm is obviously the new Deadpool movies coming out. Deadpool and Wolverine. Michael Colby, do you have any interest in seeing this movie?
As much interest as I've had in a Marvel property in probably 10 years.
Okay. Now, I might be remembering miscorrectly, but I'm pretty sure that you were a Doctor Strange 2 stan. I feel like you had the shirt and the popcorn bucket. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Did they have a popcorn bucket?
Unfortunately, they did, and I haven't.
I do want the Wolverine popcorn bucket. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, I told you to look that up.
I cannot wait to stick my dick in that thing.
Oh my god, it's going to be in there so many
show.
Times. Are we? I guess now
we're like a family here show.
We are like a family.
I can't wait to take a hot dog and put it into the mouth hole of that popcorn bucket.
Eat it like the dogs in Lady and the Tramp.
Exactly.
Can't wait to put spaghetti in that bucket.
You and Deadpool are going to Lady and the Tramp this hot dog? That's super cute. All right, if you're out there and you're watching or listening along, please send us some comments, ask us some questions, because I can't run this thing by myself, and Dylan has zero interest in this at all times. But okay, so I'm just kidding. Speaking of Sean Levy, though, so Sean Levy was asked by Marvel to head up possibly the next Avengers movie. Now, would you say with those chats that most likely Marvel has seen the Deadpool movie before we have, right? Would you say that this has any kind of relevance to how good or bad the Deadpool movie is going to be if they're going to try to get Sean Levy, who also is the director of You, Me, and Dupree? If you ever seen that Owen Wilson movie,
ooh,
that guy directed the next Deadpool movie and now is getting offers from Marvel. How do you think that's going to? Does that change your opinion of the Deadpool movies at all? Well, movie.
I don't know that I can identify any other Sean Levy movies.
No.
Oh, you definitely can. If you look it up, you'll see. Oh, that guy.
Oh no.
Oh, that guy.
Oh no.
If he did You, Me, and Dupree, you could say what you want about that movie, but it was impeccably shot.
It was beautiful. And honestly, if you can capture a sad Owen Wilson, I feel like you've got a winner on your hands. And he was a sad boy.
Oh, he's a big producer guy. That's what I was looking at.
Okay.
Oh no, he did Free Guy.
Yep. Also free guy.
Uh,
He might have also did that Adam project. I'm not really sure about that.
like Real Steel, Date Night, which I hear is good.
Was
I remember Date Night. My
Steel
parents loved
Colon
it.
Date Night.
was Free Guy that Ryan Reynolds movie where he played the NPC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard good things about that movie. Never saw it.
It
is fun, but not needed to be seen.
it is in the same vein of nostalgia bait as what's that movie with virtual reality and Iron Giant?
Ready Player One.
Yes, it's the same vein as that, where it's just reference.
So many Star Wars references. Yeah, so I thought that'd be interesting, and knowing that Marvel, how controlling they are with their projects, if they're going to get someone like a Sean Levy, I would assume that means that Deadpool has more of a structure to it than I think that Ryan Reynolds would want. I think Ryan Reynolds just wants kind of off the rails nonsense that makes people like us laugh at things like Daredevil and Elektra. But if they're asking Sean Levy, now apparently what happened before Sean Levy came in was that they asked Jordan Peele to come in and pitch a mysterious Marvel project. Now, would you guys have any interest, or would you have any interest in seeing a Jordan Peele-led MCU movie?
Yeah. Hesitantly, I'd be concerned that he would get consumed by the machine.
Right. I mean, a lot of his projects are, you can tell they're passion projects. You can tell that he has a deeper theme and deeper meanings to everything that he does. So to have him, going almost global with his product that is a machine, like Dylan said, I think that might taint, when you think of Sam Raimi, you're like, I love Sam Raimi stuff. He's got the cool visuals. And then you see Doctor Strange 2 and you're like, man, they just kind of waved the Sam Raimi around this movie. Like there's a couple shots that you could tell he was in, or that he was, in charge of. But for the most part, that is an MCU movie more than it is a Sam Raimi thing. So Sean
Raimi.
All right.
The mysterious unknown third Raimi brother.
Now, if you could pick, and obviously no one knows what this is going to be, but knowing Jordan Peele's track record, obviously we have Get Out, you have Us, you have Nope, and then he now is producing some high level stuff like Monkey Man. If there was a mysterious, I guess, MCU or Marvel project, what would you think Jordan Peele would kind of want to be behind, or what would you want to see him behind?
My first thought was I would like to see him do something like horror-ish. So I was thinking that Midnight Suns movie that they were talking about, but then I think that's a Sony thing anyway. But like, I would love to see his take on like Ghost Rider and Blade. And like, even can we get a new Morbius though?
Morbius is Sony, unfortunately. I don't think the Midnight Suns are Sony anymore. Blade is 100% with Marvel. Wolverine now is Marvel. Ghost Rider is Marvel.
Okay.
And who else? It's who else is usually
Venom.
Either way?
Venom's in the Midnight Suns. Yeah.
So he wouldn't really be in it. But
yeah,
when you said horror, I was thinking like him doing like a Man Thing would be really, really cool, because I think it's got to be horror driven, and I think there has to be a couple layers to it, and I think Man Thing has those cool layers. But obviously, like a Blade or like any vampire thing with Jordan Peele would be cool. Dylan, do you have any suggestions or ideas?
I don't know. I'm drawing a little bit of a blank on this. My first thought was Constantine, but that's DC. And I don't know why. Amplify like the aspect of going up against the supernatural when you're mildly supernatural. I know he has that, what is a synchronicity wave thing or something, but I don't know if I can think of anything that would come to me as like, oh, that's what I would want him to do.
Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think that the way that he goes to his projects and looks at things, anything that he does would be a step above a normal MCU movie. So that's cool. speaking of like, superheroes and stuff, obviously there was a recent article came out that James Gunn said that they're going to we might actually see a Wonder Woman cameo before we see Superman or Batman live action, even though we do know that he's working on that Superman project, which is cool. For some reason that they're saying there's a chance, and I don't know what that could be because I'm not sure what the next DC project and Guns thing is, but seeing that, the main trifecta, right? You have Batman, you have Superman, you have Wonder Woman. That is the core of what DC is. We know who Superman's going to be. Batman, obviously it's up in the air, but it kind of doesn't matter. Maybe Reacher. I think people are saying that for a big bulky Batman. I thought some people are asking for Jason Enkles, which I think he's too busy with the boys. But if there is a Wonder Woman casting, who would you guys like to see as the next Wonder Woman? Like, is this a character that needs a bigger name actor to run this franchise of a character, or do you think that this needs to be almost a nobody that now is going to just become this character?
I mean, I would like a nobody. It would be really nice. Has nothing to do with the name of our show. It would be really nice to. Yes, this is me pitching myself for Wonder Woman.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That would be great. And obviously, I guess that means that Colby has to be Superman.
Little 5'9" Wonder Woman over here. Yeah. No. I mean, yeah, I want to see someone that does not have a whole lot of stuff yet. It would be nice. It would be nice to see an unknown, not an unknown, but someone who's lesser known heading one of these big superhero punch fests.
Yeah, I think that would be great as well. And lastly, in the nerd stuff, Star Wars Acolyte dropped. The next Star Wars live action thing came out on Wednesday. Either of you guys seen that? Obviously, I have seen it because I have zero life whatsoever, and I watch absolutely everything. But the first 2 episodes just dropped, and I think that they're doing something very interesting with Star Wars now. I think a lot of people are just kind of sick of the Skywalkers. They're kind of sick of just nonstop that angle. And the galaxy is huge, and we see one tiny familial perception of that. So what this is set 100 years before Phantom Menace, and it's kind of at the end of the High Republic. And the High Republic is like the Jedi are just so pompous and so arrogant. They've already beaten the Sith, and they are just running everything. And this should be kind of the demise of the High Republic. And because you guys haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil any of those things, but they're doing a really interesting thing with the character. And I guess if you don't care that I spoil it, it doesn't really matter. So
we have listeners.
Okay, well, maybe. The show revolves. The show revolves.
This might just be for us.
Yeah, you're coming hard with the jokes. I appreciate that. Now the show revolves around these twin girls, these twin sisters, and one of them is leaning more the dark side, and for some reason they're trying to get revenge on these Force Pacific Jedi. One of them is Carrie-Ann Moss from Matrix. One of them is the head guy from Squid Games, who's a phenomenal actor. One is a really doofusy looking guy with a very bad beard. And then one is a Wookiee, and it's this girl's struggle to go and kill them for some unknown event. And I think that for some reason, I don't know how much of the newer Star Wars stuff you guys have seen, but I think that everything they make recently is just apologizing for something that has already been out. So like this show, I think what they're going to do with the show is talk about these Force dyads, which came up in Rise of Skywalker out of absolutely nowhere. And I think they're trying to make that idea something more relevant. Either way, I like it. It's wire work, which I think is phenomenal as far as like Jedi fighting. It's no CGI. They're not in the volume. They make actual sets. There's no aliens that you recognize, so it's not like they walk into a cantina and there's a Greedo and a Slughead and a Tusk Face or whatever. It is 100% original content and set in a timeline that we don't know about. So I think that's really interesting, and I'm looking forward to it. And if you guys ever do watch it, text me and let me know what you think, because I think that's super cool. All right, so now, cool. Yeah, media
sounds like they're finally doing stuff with Star Wars that I want them to do.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I mean, it is like a lot of force fighting, which is cool. Like people use the force to do flips and to kick harder, and there's force blocking, and I think that all that stuff is really cool. So I'm really a big fan of it, and I didn't expect to be, because obviously I have very low expectations when it comes to Star Wars. That way I can at least be happy when I get mediocrity. Okay. Media we're consuming. Michael Colby, are you consuming any media? You listen to any podcasts? You watching TV shows? You playing any games?
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing games and
You play games?
always listening to podcasts, but
What game are you playing right now?
I just finished Animal Well.
Okay.
For good things.
That
Just a
absolutely
deep well.
nobody cares about, but it is fantastic. I don't know if either of you ever played Fez.
Yeah.
It's like if they turned Fez into a Metroidvania. It's fantastic.
Cool.
It looks cool. It plays great. Yeah. And then the Alan Wake DLC just dropped. And there are two companies sort of that are like parallel in my mind, and that's Rockstar and Remedy. And Remedy nails the like serious and up their own ass, but can also be fun. And Rockstar cannot do that.
Yeah.
But the Alan Wake 2 DLC is so freaking fun. It's like 3 episodes of this show Night Springs that Alan Wake wrote. So they're all goofy. Jesse from Control is the main character in one of them. Yeah, fantastic. So that
Awesome.
I mean, that's the media that I've been consuming.
Dylan, what are you playing anything? You listen to anything? You watching anything? You reading anything?
I'm rewatching Scavenger's Reign now that it's on Netflix. Great
Nice.
show. Some of the better sci-fi I've seen in a long time. Animation's beautiful, very Mobius inspired art style, and really, really imaginative alien life forms. Good stuff. Absolutely recommend, so it can get a sequel, follow-up season.
Yeah.
And then I'm playing this little indie game called On Guard. It is a fencing game, and like you are, it's very tongue-in-cheek. It's very colorful.
Tongue-in-cheek fencing?
I know, right?
Is it VR?
No.
Oh.
Like the writing is it's very much like you're following El Vigilante and definitely not your brother. He suspiciously looks like your brother, but it's definitely not your brother. Like that sort of thing.
Yeah. Cool.
The fencing mechanics are really fun, and the environment is as much a weapon as your sword. So you can like pick up buckets from a well and put them on people's heads. You can kick people downstairs. You can
fencing
like
meets Three Stooges.
Yeah, kind of. No,
you
it's
can
very
give him one of these.
It's it's very charming, and it's very fun sword fighting.
What kind of like perspective is it? Is it like third
It's
person? Is
third
side
person?
There's
Third person
two persons,
close.
tongue and cheek. That's fine. I have too many notes out here.
No.
But I would recommend it if you want like a. It's short. I bought it for $10 on sale. But it has an arena mode, so you can just kind of fight as much as you like, and then the story's kind of fun. So I'd say it's probably worth at least $10. Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to play Death Stranding, like I text you guys.
Oh, sure.
And I was like, wow, this is a lot of walking and me slipping in the water. This is a lot of me just stumbling with too much stuff on my back. And it felt like a job. And I was very upset about it. I can't tell if there's a gun in this thing. You just have to talk to this baby that is on your stomach, and you just fall down a lot because you just have too much stuff on your back. And don't try to run because you have to hold on to this stuff on your back until the baby gets upset. Then you got to rock the baby, but also hold the stuff on your back. So I dropped that game, and I wanted to play something that I felt was a little bit more soothing and less stressful. Have you guys heard of the game Stray?
Yeah.
I bought this and I played the hell out of it. I think it was like maybe a 5-hour game. It's a very short game, but it is so cool just to be like a cat. You know, you're just a cat, and you stumble into an event. What? You are just a cat.
Yeah, no, I am. I think it's charming.
Yeah.
No, it's good. Actually have a recommendation, because my problem with Stray was that I didn't feel like I was playing as a cat.
Oh,
Like, because of the robot and everything, and
Yeah.
like the way that like everything was prompted, I was like, this doesn't feel like I'm playing as a cat.
gotcha.
But a game just came out called Little Kitty Big City. That
Great
game
name.
makes you feel like you're playing as a cat.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Like, obviously, like there's one linear way to go in Stray, and you can't really get lost, and you have to do these certain things. But if you kind of forget the gameplay and just jump around the city and rub up on robots' legs and see the heart show up on their face, I just thought it was a charming, very, very calming game, which is cool. But I'm definitely going to check out the other game because I'm super big into like survival games. I've been playing The Forest a lot, which I really enjoy. And I didn't know I like those kind of games, but I'll definitely check out the big city,
Little
big
kitty big
little
city.
kitty, big city.
Little Kitty
I love
Big
it.
City. You can
Uh,
it's just like I said, with Stray's a great game. I really enjoyed Stray. Don't get me wrong. It was just that like they were pushing it as this cat game, and the fact that you're a cat doesn't really mean anything in Stray.
That's fair.
So like that was my only real problem with it. I liked it as a game, but like in Little Kitty Big City, like you can like bat stuff down, like jump around on stuff. You can like curl up into a ball and you just take naps everywhere. Like it really does a lot of cat stuff.
You can
And I'm like,
customize with hats. I'm seeing you can put
Yes.
hats on.
yep, you can put
Cat
hats
hats?
on.
Is there
Yeah.
a battle royale mode?
With cat.
That would be kind
Cats-
of hilarious.
I was gonna say cattle royale, but that just makes it sound like you're a bunch of cows.
Yeah, that's a cow
Which
fight. Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
let me tell you about
yeah,
a game
give
called
it-
China Shop.
if you could do
the
like
map
a
is called China Shop.
Yeah.
if you could do like a Diablo 2 cow thing,
Yeah,
battle royale, that would be fun. I would play an isometric cow 99 versus 1 thing.
I'm gonna make a board game called Cattle Royale.
Cattle
Everybody
Royale. No, I love that.
everybody jumps out of a like one of those things that spray the pesticides onto
Hell
the
yeah.
crops.
Oh yeah, the long
just-
like weird spinal
Yeah.
cords.
I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
trying to think of like farm related stuff that you could do with a battle royale.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
a game on Steam called Farmageddon Cattle Royale.
Oh shit.
Of course,
They
there
owe
is.
us money.
It
'cause
has-
we invented that.
It has 97% positive reviews on 34 reviews.
Wow.
Damn. One person just kind of liked it. That's funny. All right, I'm gonna play this cat game and a cow game as soon as I'm done this show, which is totally fine for me. Some of our friends have podcasts. We have podcasts. Michael Colby's has a podcast. Some of our friends have podcasts. I'm gonna quickly touch base with our friends and see what they're up to, if that's cool with you guys. Jeff Dwoskin, obviously we know him very well. He just his last episode of comfortable conversations. Classic. They're classic and they're comfortable, and that's the thing I like about it. I like to get into a cozy armchair and just put a body pillow over top of me and just listen to old Jeffy talk to our favorite people. This last episode that he put out, he talked to Jeremy Kuhn. He's a producer of Napoleon Dynamite, but also he made the documentary Disturbance in a Force, which is the documentary based around the holiday episode of the Star Wars thing, which he goes in depth about how that garbage thing got put together. It is impressive the amount of people that guy got for just a documentary and how terrible of a movie that is. We usually touch base on where Jack Billings and his haunted apartment complex are. They haven't dropped an episode, I don't know, like a month and a half maybe. So yeah, it's been since early May, and we've all been fiending, but hopefully soon that's going to come out. Who knows?
There won't be any more haunted apartment complex. That one is done.
Shit.
It is concluded.
Yes.
Intentionally
shit.
so. Yeah.
Intentionally concluded.
Yeah.
You're not going to dip back into that well.
Nope. each season of Jack Billings Presents is its own inclusive story. Like everything happens in the season, and then we move over to a different reality. Jack dies, and we go to a different reality where he's reincarnated, and he's the reason that, you know, stuff happens in those universes. He's trying to get something done, but he's dumb and inept, and he usually dies before he gets the thing done. So me and my neighbor Michael, he got accidentally shot by Perez. In this one, he fell out of a hot air balloon and splatted on the ground. And then we are currently writing the new season, Jack Billings Presents King of the Big House, where we're all in prison.
Is that a Martin Lawrence reference?
No.
Oh, I guess that's Big Mama's house.
Yeah, no, it's not Jack Billings Presents Big Mama's House. Not this season anyway. But you'll hear from old friends such as Marcus Fiasco, the magician, and Adam Lynch, the Reading, Ohio butt stabber. Played by Dylan and Zach, respectively.
It's always fun when I go on our shows and like, what do you talk about? I was like, honestly, don't look at what some nobodies does. Check out this show where I'm a person who just wants to stab butts more than anything ever. I gotta stab butts and I gotta lose my voice. Those are my two main things that is important to my character. Yeah, cool. So if you guys are listening or watching, you don't know Jack Billings, check out everything they do, especially the Haunted Apartment Complex. Honestly,
some really good stuff in there.
It's good stuff. It's just good stuff.
I've been telling people, especially Haunted Apartment Complex, but I re-uploaded everything onto the new feed, so everything is together. And I re-listened to me and my neighbor Michael. There's some really good stuff in there too.
Yeah, that is literally how we became friends. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but Dylan and I were trying to create one of our very first shows, Silicon Angels, and I didn't know at the time that there was many fictional podcasts. So I remember like Googling it and like really doing some research and then seeing this one that just kept popping up. And then I'm like, is that me on the cover? Like, what is that me? And I'm like, I got to listen to this thing. And it blew my mind. I was so intrigued by how thoughtful and creative that first season is. And it made me reach out to you and be like, hey, we should be best friends because you're funnier than me and I can't allow that. So I have to cut you the second I get around you.
Yeah, you're gonna stab my butt.
Oh my God, I'm gonna stab it so hard.
He's very in character. He's just getting ready for his next appearance.
Oh, I'm not losing my voice. I'm nowhere near character for that. It is a god-awful feeling for me to make that sound. But either way, please check out Jack Billings. One of our other friends, the Three Geeks podcast, which does Remake Revolution. And they do a whole bunch of stuff. They like drop shows like every single day. I was watching one of their shows and they do that thing where they'll read a review of a movie and then try to guess the movie. I always think that's really clever. So I found a review and I want you guys to tell me if you can figure out what movie this is. This is a 1-star review on IMDb and it's labeled amazingly silly. And here's the review. Unbelievable mixture of the best dinosaur visuals of human history and complete brainless, unconvincing plot, even worse than 1 million years BC. A perfect example of misery born from misguided commercialism. This is amazingly silly, so much so that you may enjoy it ironically. Now, this is, I'll tell you that it is a dinosaur live action film. Michael Colby, based on that alone, what movie do you think this is?
Tammy and the T-Rex.
Oof. So close.
Dylan? Fun movie. 65.
Oof. Not a fun movie whatsoever. An absolute terrible movie, and you were also incorrect. If you want to keep going, we can. I'm not sure how many dinosaur movies you guys can name.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic World Dominion.
Jurassic... Okay. No, Lost World. Sorry, it is Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World. Amazingly silly. One of collectively some nobody's favorite movie to absolutely shit on.
I do enjoy watching that movie, even though it is pretty bad.
It's very bad, but in like the fun way, in the way like, you know, Madam Web and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen are very crappy movies, but fun to watch. And at some point we might have a project coming out where we talk about a lot of these films. So who knows about that? But I do love Madam Web. I cannot stop watching Madam Web, and I hate it. I hate how much I like this movie now.
I have a couple of movies like that where I'm like, man, this sucks. And then I keep watching it, and then it's like, this is one of my favorite movies ever.
Yep. That inadvertently, Madam Web turned into that, because it was, I watched it once and like was like, oh, I'm dumbfounded. Watched it a second time, was like, okay, this is weird. Watched it with Dylan, was like, okay, maybe I'm super into this. And then completely
Dylan's watched
dissected
it like 9 times.
I've seen it several times now as well.
Yeah, I've got him beat by a lot.
Yes, you do. Primarily, yeah.
Primarily because you have no life.
Because I have no effing life, and Dylan has a hurt foot, and he's got a life, and that's fair. He doesn't have time to watch movies with me.
It's so difficult to get to the TV and change my channel.
That's it. Once you get to the bathroom, you're just there all day.
It's the safest place to stay.
True. All right, next segment. The next segment, what we do is we talk about, if you guys don't know, we had an amazing show that is in syndication all around the world, and it's called Talking Upstream. It was actually purchased by some company, and we were swindled out of it. They own the rights to the name, I'm pretty sure. But either way, we did 54 amazing episodes. And what we would do is we'd find some of our favorite creators, and we would interview them on their process and then pitch ideas to them, and they would choose one. And then collectively, we would create how this thing should be, because we just like having a family and communal events. So what I did was I put a bracket together of all 54 of these things that we did, and we're going to slowly, over weeks and weeks and weeks, whittle this down into the one project that we absolutely want to work on that is from everything that we've done on Talking Upstream. Last episode of this was the Beetle Deity. That was B. Highland's episode, and also our very first episode, which was Dylan. What was the other one?
B. Highland. You mean my co-host on This Bizarre Adventure, a podcast about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, where we talk about every episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Wait, you're talking about the same
No,
B.
the other
Highland
one.
that was a co-host of No Time to Binge, an award-winning show where we actually had no time to binge?
That is exactly the B. Highland that I'm talking about.
Beautiful person.
We have our very own fairly long-running podcast at this point where we just talk about, well, that's not true. We barely talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I've been describing it as two unhinged leftists with no filter, with nobody to filter them, talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and how terrible America is.
It is just two thirsty people looking for some animated abs at all times. And I am so here for it.
If you didn't listen to that first season, you have no idea how thirsty these two people are for Dio.
Dylan, what was the two shows that we talked about? It was Beetle Deity, and then whatever the very first one was, which
it was Ant God and
Ant God. The very first one that we ever did. And I have this rare ability to continue talking about absolutely nothing while Dylan researches things and makes it seem like I'm interrupting him.
Super empowered.
Wow. Great memory, Dylan. I should stop talking sometimes and let you speak.
I remembered that with my own brain.
And it's such a wrinkly brain. And that's what I like about you.
It has
I have
many
a smooth
wrinkles.
brain. Yeah, lots of wrinkles. Either way,
it does take him a long time to remember stuff because he has to like get into all of those wrinkles.
Yes.
So many wrinkles.
Sometimes it looks like he's looking stuff up, but really he's just going through it in his brain.
The light that you see reflecting off my face are just the flashes of brilliance.
Yeah.
It's so many times, so many flashes of brilliance. Either way, I'll tell you later which one of those two won, because I legitimately cannot remember. But we're very fans of this segment. And what's next on the bracket is from episode 11, we have a project that we worked on called Unicorn Smuggling. And that was actually before we had guest hosts, which is super cool. And then we had episode 18, Deadbeat, that was hosted by Jeff Dwoskin. Ironically, I shouldn't have pitched his show, or I shouldn't have talked about his show earlier, knowing I was going to talk about it here. It's stupid. Either way, Dylan, do you remember what Deadbeat was about?
Yeah, possession is 9/10 of the law, because it's about a cop in the 80s who stops an artifact smuggling ring and gets possessed by a demon and uses those demon powers to fight crime.
Yeah, this was one of the. So sometimes like a name will pop into one of our brains and we text each other or come to each other or on each other. Sometimes it is like a something else. Sometimes it's a tagline, and I'm not sure what happened, but one day Dylan ran up to me and was like,
okay, that
possession is. I'm sorry about that. Possession is 9/10 of the law, and I'm like, okay, I don't have anything. And then he pitched this idea about this possessed cop, just because of that tagline, which was super super cool. And so much so that we had to work on it, and we came up with something really really intriguing and something that I like a lot.
And I have like 25 pages of a screenplay written of it, and I haven't done anything to that in a very long time.
That's why we're doing this segment, so we can come back to this stuff. Also, we had unicorn smuggling. And Dylan, is there a flash of genius is going to let you remember what this is about?
Yes, it happened earlier.
Oh,
I definitely didn't look this up earlier. This was our 11th episode. It was back when we were with. It was back when we were working with some robots who. Side note, you mentioned they might own the rights to Talking Upstream. Considering they don't even have the rights to their original name anymore, I doubt that's much of a concern. I'm not going to name names because, as far as I know, they're still out there.
Yeah. Who knows what?
They're called?
Yeah, they're like
mattress up now. Yeah,
yeah. It's like one of those weird like mattress stores where like it just keeps changing the name, but you're like you still sell mattresses. What's going on?
They got bought by Tencent, didn't they?
You should see the monetization they implemented afterwards.
That was crazy. They made us pay to watch our own stuff.
Oh,
that is actually true.
Actually, yes.
Yeah,
as
they
members
made us
of the network,
sign up for a membership.
We were not given a membership. Anyway,
what the fuck?
Yeah,
robots. Let me tell you.
One reason we left.
Unicorn smuggling was very early on. It was a weird little like modern fantasy setting, so like elves, dwarves, dragons, magic in like a society that reflected like 1980s LA. And it was about a group of like a squadron of rangers who were like wildlife protective services trying to bust an underground unicorn smuggling ring happening in the city. And it had fun. So I found the whiteboard we had in the video.
Oh, cool.
And it was like a human ranger, a minotaur, I think a centaur, and then like a person with like there were a person from the torso up, but a snake instead of legs.
Hell yeah!
And the best part about that I remember is that the boss of the chief of the precinct was a dragon, and so you've got this like big fire breathing dragon constantly threatening to take away their badge and their crossbow. And it's like, I have to go give a press conference.
Damn it, Johnson, leave me your badge.
Yeah. Damn it, Arcadius.
Yeah. That's okay, so what we're trying to do in this segment is we had so many ideas, blasted them out every single week, and we never really took the time to work on any of them fully. We did a whole lot of work for a little bit of time on every one of these. But either way, so okay, we have Deadbeat. Michael Colby, you're going to help us decide which one of these we're going to work on later, not today. This is just a tournament style. Now, Deadbeat is about a police officer who is possessed. And as we all know, possession is 9/10 of the law. I don't fully remember a lot of I remember they were like a rookie cop. Is that right, Dylan?
They were a beat cop, yeah.
And they busted like an artifact thing. And they
got possessed by that. What it's about does not matter. Yeah. That name and the tagline are so good.
So good.
Like that's like one of those things where you just like see it and you're like, well, of course I want to go see that movie. Like, put that poster up and people will see this movie. That's the true. Other thing sounds like a better idea and probably more fun movie. But if you're trying to get people to watch your shit, that is an easy one, man.
I mean,
That's
I will
fair.
say we had things like he gets possessed because he has this tablet in his car, and his girlfriend works at the local radio station, and she's playing a band that took inspiration from the society that made the tablet. And so while he's listening to it on the radio, it activates the demon in the tablet.
Because of damn curses.
So his girlfriend's sister tries to take him to like a Catholic church for exorcism, but it's not a Catholic demon. So she and the priest trying to run the exorcist gets crushed by the crucifix. Like shit like that. It was cool. It was great.
I'm all in for Deadbeat.
Okay, cool. That was an easy one then. 100% for Deadbeat. So that means that future down into the quarterfinals, Deadbeat is going to have to go up against Super Empowered, which is the support group, the mental health group for people with D-level superhero powers. Like you're just a half goose and you really can't do anything. But shit eggs,
like the sidekick lounge thing in the Tick.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yep. All right, so that was an easy one. We're going to head on to the next segment, which is viewer questions. I put out there on our Twitter that Michael Colby surprisingly was on the show, and we had a gaggle of people that wanted to ask Michael Colby and Dylan some questions, mostly about fictional writing and podcasting. But let's see if we have a couple minutes for this. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. Dylan, very, very big friend and family of the show, Mr. Shaquille Oatmeal. He wanted to know what inspired you to start writing fiction to begin with?
Growing up, I thought my life was too easy, and so I wanted to work in an art form, but not just any art form, but one that is notorious for not being easy or well-paying or mentally steadying. I just really wanted an excuse to glorify my substance use.
That makes sense. What was that substance?
Michael, we don't have a soundboard, do we? I wanted you to bleep me out.
Oh. All right. Well, just pretend you said something now, and then I'll bleep it out in post.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if you're going to bleep it out in post, that was a long enough pause.
Oh, that's fair. I'll just add that. Okay, cool.
I remember when Dylan was drinking a lot of absinthe, though.
I do like a Sazerac.
Honestly, Real Boys messed us up in all crazy ways, and I can understand that.
The highest effort thing I've ever done.
Michael Colby, questions to you. Can you share your process for developing characters and plot lines in your stories, knowing such characters as Marcus Fiasco and Adam Lynch? How do you create them? And this was sent to us by a user @BestPenis.
Wow, Elon's really loosened the restrictions on usernames, huh?
First Amendment, baby.
That's what you get for still being on X.
He's got a blue check, so I think he's legit.
As it's probably is Elon.
Oh, okay.
So Elon, I guess, usually what I do is I see what type of character we need for any specific reason. Google a name generator to come up with a funny name.
Mm-hmm.
And then what really makes me solidify a character is I always am like, all right, what weird secret kink does this character have? And even if it never comes out on the show, it's always there. And like it drives that character.
Oh, wait. So did you tell Dylan what his super kink is, or is that something that just stays within your writing?
No, it's just inside. And if it comes out,
I wonder if we've given the character the same kink.
We'll have to talk about it either after the show or Zach can bleep it out. While
Some Nobody's After Dark, yeah.
We're all just pantsless.
Oh no, wait, we're not pantsless for this regular.
Yeah, wait a minute.
That was the joke, Michael. It's already after dark in some places that are down there. All right, Dylan. Being that you wrote fiction before podcasting and then wrote fiction after podcasting, our friend would like to know, do you find that your work as a podcast host influences your writing or vice versa? This question was suggested by Mr. Poop Feast 420.
Oh yeah, no, he's a patron.
Yeah.
Is it poop? Is it Poop Feast? Please tell me it's Poop Fest and not Poop Feast, because
there's an A in it.
Oh no.
It's not Poop Fast.
No, no. I would assume it's very slow pooping. If he's
That's
having
somebody
a
who
feast
can
on
get.
it.
That's somebody who can get out of the bathroom in less than 30 minutes. That's
I assumed it was when I took a long break from pooping.
No. I think with the 420 aspect involved, they need to chow down on some feces. I guess I have no idea. But Dylan, has podcasting affected your writing?
No.
Okay, perfect. Next question is going to head over to Michael Colby. Now, Michael, our next friend would like to know, what themes or messages do you aim to convey through your fiction? This was sent to us by one of our friends, Sister Fister.
I remember these people from
they were
No Time to Binge.
Yeah, they asked a lot of questions at no time.
They're regulars.
Yeah.
Shaquille Oatmeal, still my favorite. The themes I like to convey are my leftist, leanings. I like, we talk a lot of shit on billionaires in Haunted Apartment Complex. We have a lot of like how terrible the private prison system is already coming up in the new season. And we like to make it as jokes, but also like, fuck you, billionaires and the private prison system.
Wow.
Michael's getting sleepy.
Yeah, seriously.
Too bad. I have to go to work soon. I just couldn't say billionaires.
Now, Michael, do you think that you could write a positive character that has a different point of view than you do? Could you write a positive, right-leaning character, or is that who Jack Billings is?
I don't think Jack is right-leaning. I think he's just old and dumb.
I mean, he's a NASA fan, and he's pretty unintelligent, I guess.
Yeah.
Or NASA fan.
No, I don't think I could, because I'm not like good at character development. I'm like better at writing jokes than like character development. So I mean, I guess if I practiced, I probably could, but right now I don't care enough. And I also wouldn't want to portray some right-wing douchebag as like a good character.
I mean, you could always do what I do and do it, but then kill them horrifically at some point.
It's true.
Feed them to worms or something.
Well,
yeah,
we do have 2 specific deaths coming up in the first 4 episodes of King of the Big House. And I mean, we're not we don't have any character development for those characters, but I guess in the back of your mind, just keep it that like they definitely voted for Donald Trump.
Okay.
Okay. I'm excited. I'll listen to anything, especially if you're going to kill off certain people. I'm okay with that. All right, Dylan. Next question. Now, how do you handle writer's block or creative slumps? And this comes in on Twitch from 1-800-Gankaho. How do you have these names?
Never mind.
Don't
no.
say that.
What?
How do you handle writer's block, Dylan?
I'm going to answer this.
How do you deal with that?
I'm going to answer this one semi-seriously, actually, because this is an incredibly common question, actually.
Yeah.
don't go back and reread what you write until you edit it in the second draft. You just push through it. I mean, there are certain tricks you can do where someone breaks, like it's like, oh, I'm stuck on a certain scene. Have someone break the door down. Who is it? I don't know. But just like the goal of every first draft is to get that draft written. After that, and you're editing, writer's block is a non-issue because you're not creating new stuff, ideally.
Then you're using that mental power to enhance scenes or
yes.
whatever. Okay.
Also, for some people, what helps is alcohol.
Yep.
And or
for
marijuana.
those that might not help, yeah, I was going to say there also is marijuana.
Or the light of God.
You got to write garbage first, then you go back.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're saying?
Bible was a first draft.
Yeah. Awesome. So you're saying write the whole thing out first and then go back while editing and just change it up a little bit. Like don't. Okay, cool.
If you have to take a break, but consistently put down work.
Cool.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right, Michael. Now, which of your fictional works are you most proud of, whether it's a storyline or a character, and why? And this comes from someone on Instagram called Chili Butt Drip.
I know I'm supposed to be making light of these questions.
No,
but
just the names.
The thing that I'm most proud of is I wrote a joke in one episode of Jack Billings Presents Haunted Apartment Complex, where in the first act, it's like Michael's first couple days as a hitman, and Jack gifts him a gun that was given to Jack by a man named Chekhov. And in the end of the episode, I end up killing a man by strangling him with piano wire. And Jack gets very upset because he says, I gave you a perfectly good gun in the first act. And I'm like, that joke is for 3 people, but the 3 people who like that joke are really going to like that joke. And that's the kind of thing that I'm proud of. Like when I come up with something that like 95% of the people who hear it aren't going to understand it, but the 5% of the people who hear it are really going to like it. That's my bread and butter. So if you ever don't laugh at a joke that I wrote, just know that you're not smart enough and the jokes that I write just went over your head.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
If you're not laughing at it, there's one person that is laughing at it.
Exactly.
And they're correct.
Yeah. Dylan, that's actually a good segue for the next question to you. You have like your point of view when writing your stuff, right? How do you engage with an audience as a writer? Like, how do you, I'll just leave it how they wrote it. How do you engage with your audience as a writer? That was sent in by Gollum Took My Bike.
Oh, it must be in Boulder. So I mean, it is a matter of finding a community online and being a part of it. And I know that's not super helpful. Like it's just do it as advice, but find a specific community, whether that's like I was active on writer Twitter a while ago and I was getting some fair interaction at it because I kept at it. There are subreddits, there are stack exchanges, you can find writer communities online really easy. There's a lot of them. All of us, we have massive, massive egos. You're going to hear people lie about that. You're going to hear writers say sometimes that they don't have an ego. That's a lie.
Yeah.
We partially write things because we believe that we should be read.
Yeah. How do you filter out advice that is from a perspective that differs from what you think should be in the story? You always go with your gut, or do you take outside influences, whether you're like, no, that doesn't really jive with that?
I have the advantage of having been doing this professionally for a minute.
Mhm.
several ways, freelance and stuff like that. And also, like, we've been doing this for a while. So if it's something that I've not heard or not tried, I'll usually try it. But I'll also see, like, I saw a post on some writing subreddit about the difference between plotting everything out and just going by the seat of your pants. And it was like, in my experience, people who outline everything lose steam because there's no discovery. And I
Mm.
outline everything pretty in depth, and I
Mhm.
still have those moments of discovery. And I was just like, oh, that doesn't apply to me. If you're a little less experienced, try everything once and see what works for you.
Nice. Solid segue to the next question. It's going to go to Michael. Michael Colby. Sorry. Michael Colby.
Yes, that's me.
Now, what advice would you give to aspiring writers who also want to start a podcast? Now, this was sent in on Vimeo. Was that one
Venmo?
Venmo? Yeah, I
Venmo?
get messages from everywhere, really.
If you send me a question at my Venmo with money
Mhm.
attached, it will get on the show.
No,
that's
absolutely.
literally what I said, and I got $1 from Boner for your hippo for this. So
Boner
Michael,
for your hippo or for
Boner
your hippa?
hippo.
Okay.
Oh, like
Give me that medical information.
yeah, don't. I got a boner for this. Don't give that out.
Oh, medical information.
Privacy and security.
If you, for anybody who wants to start a podcast, I always tell them, do it.
Just do it.
Because
Just do it.
Because
do it.
look, here's the thing. Podcasts are an amazing medium to get stuff out. It's very low, it's a very easy entrance into like getting your stuff published. And like, just do it because it's like what you're passionate about. Like, I see people on these like these podcasts, like groups and stuff, and they're always like, I started my podcast and I'm 3 episodes in. How do I start making money? It's like, stop. Just make a good show. Like,
Yeah.
like, we can do so much stuff with podcasting. Like, I never did anything like this before. And then once we started doing it, it's like, now I know how to edit shows. I've been making music for shows. You know, I figured out how to make sound effects and, you know, do the production. I never really wrote before. And now I'm like fairly decent at like writing jokes and like conversations and stuff, like dialogue. Just do it, and eventually you'll get good at it. Like,
Yeah. I can't stress that enough. Like when Dylan and I had the idea of Silicon Angels, we didn't know like what the medium was going to be. We thought about drawing it, we thought about filming it workaholic style. Like that, the original intent was to film it in my apartment as a cubicle setting, and only have just you hear the phone call side. And once we bought and decided on podcasting, it was so much easier than I thought it was going to be.
yeah,
And you put the first one out and you're like, I could have done this and I could have done this. And then after like 3 or 4, you're like, okay, I know what I'm doing here. I wonder if I can add music. How do I do that? So I completely agree with Michael. Just do it. If you're going to do a podcast, just do it, put it out there. And so what if no one listens to it at first?
yeah.
So what if nobody likes it? You have something in your heart that needs to go out there. And I think that's super cool.
Yeah, and I think I think too many people have ideas for stuff that they think needs to be filmed. You know, you saying about that, like people are like, oh yeah, I have this idea, and it's like, I just don't know. I don't have a camera. I don't know how to put it out. Like, I don't know how to get it distributed. Turn it into an audio medium. Like almost anything can get turned into an audio medium.
Yep.
and just put it out on like Acast or something. Acast doesn't cost anything. You can just publish it. It's really easy. You can get Audacity for free. You can get a one of these here Q2Us, the Samson Q2Us, sound really good microphone, $80 at Best Buy. Like you can start a podcast that sounds really good, and you can start it for less than $100. Like just do it, because
just do it.
I think one of the things that's like wrong with the world in general is that nobody does anything for joy anymore. Like I remember back in the 90s, like there was all sorts of shit to do, and now when I go out, all I see is like banks and car dealerships, and like it's no fun consumerism, and everybody's just miserable all the time. Like fucking take your thing that's gonna bring you happiness and make it and put it out, and it's gonna give other people happiness. And like that's really what we need. Like instead of doing things to try to make more money, do things to make people happy, and then more people will be happy, and then maybe we'll get out of this fucking endless cycle of making more money to buy more stuff to have more money or whatever, however capitalism works. Let's just stop it.
I completely agree with you. Either make a podcast or give this old man a roller rink. One of these two things has to happen right now.
Exactly. Put out, build a music venue that people can go to see shows for $5 instead of like $180 a ticket to see a band.
Be like They Might Be Giants. Do a free concert every year. Like just do some stuff for people and for the love of the game, and just so that you learn how to do more things. I think that's awesome. Gentlemen, that's all the notes that I took. That's all the questions that I decided to copy and paste into my form. And I appreciate your time. Colby.
Yeah.
If people wanted to find you, like if they really wanted to find you, what's your home address?
It's Can you beep this out when you when you put it on post? Like I'm saying my address.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, I thought that would actually cover up everything. You'll find it. They want to see you.
Well, I don't really post on social media. I kind of hate it. But you can find the podcasts, Jack Billings Presents and This Bizarre Adventure. Also, if you want to look up Games My Mom Found, there's a bunch of episodes with me on there about video games.
That's cool. Find him. Michael Colby, very funny guy. Dylan, do you want people to find you?
I'm not really on any platforms that I feel comfortable being on anymore. So
yeah, that's fair.
Man,
you can find Dylan on Parler, where he drops dank memes. He's a dank meme Parler guy.
I'm on Threads, but that might be the most brain dead social media app I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I mean, oh my god, the people I see on there are just I'm shocked. Anyway,
Dylan is at VorpalWords on truth.com.
That's it.
That's funny.
Trump keeps trying to buy this username from me, and I'm like, up that number. Call me next week at a 0.
Yeah. Now it's 0.
Yeah, he's not going to pay you anyway.
No. Yeah.
No matter how many zeros are in front of that decimal point, doesn't change the value.
Still not saying yeah, baby. If you want to hear anything that we do, just Google Some Nobodies. Open up one of your chat box and be like, what does Some Nobodies do? And I guarantee you they have an answer. I typed into Chat GPT, who is Zach Wiseman? And it knows me. That's crazy. It's like he's an executive producer of Talking Upstream with his co-host Dylan Terry. Which Dylan, that means that Chat GPT knows who
doing
you
it
are
right now.
I dare you. Either way, we are Some Nobodies. He has been Michael Colby. He has been Dylan Terry. I have been Zach Wiseman. You've been fucking great. You guys have a great night. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you later.
Just saying, ChatGPT doesn't know who I am.
Meta doesn't know either.
Couldn't find any notable public figures or individuals named Dylan Terry.
Okay, if you type in who is Zach Wiseman? It'll tell you that Dylan Terry is a co-host.
Are we
of
stopping
the show.
the end of the show for this?
Well, I got angry by this because I was excited that ChatGPT knew who I was. Because I'm not even like, if you type my name into YouTube, there's like 6 Zach Wisemans just with that name above me, and they're all fishermen from Canada, which really makes me angry.
Michael Colby. I couldn't find any information on a famous person by that name. However, there are likely many individuals named Michael Colby who are not public figures.
I think ChatGPT is throwing shade because it's like, as of my last update, no widely recognized podcasters named Dylan Terry or Zach Wiseman. It's possible they're relatively new to the scene or operate within a specific niche community where they have gained recognition.
That is crazy.
If
my internet worked, I would show you what mine says right now, which is really upsetting. Either way, just Google some nobodies. And that's
just play us out, Zach. That's all I've got.
Okay, look, I just typed it in. I'm going to read it to you. Zach Wiseman is a multi-talented creative known primarily for his work on podcasting and comedy. He co-hosts the podcast Talking Upstream, where he and Dylan Terry discuss and develop creative ideas, often focused on story development and character creation. Wiseman, why ChatGPT calls me by my last name is crazy. Wiseman is also behind podcast I'm Nobody, which features reverse style interviews where guests bring questions to him to answer. Additionally, Zach Wiseman is involved in the entertainment industry as an amateur comedian and is active in the independent media scene through his involvement with Some Nobodies, a creative group produced varying shows and projects with his partner, Dylan Terry. We are gay, and ChatGPT knows it. I love everybody on here. You guys have a great night, and that's probably going to be the end of the stream. I don't really care. That's it. It's ended. I just need it to stop saying live on the internet.
Shit! If I put in Michael Colby podcast.